Welcome back to the Fifth Line 5R show. We got Florida Panthers coverage here on Five Reasons Sports Network. I'm joined by Manny, and we're going to be talking a little bit about last night's Florida Panthers defeat.
Yeah. Hi, Alex. How are you? Um, listen, it's quite simple, right? You had the lead in the third period, under five to go. There's no way that you could lose that game, right? I mean, that's probably an extra point when you see down the line where you're kind of like, damn, like, kind of made it, it could make a difference. But I think my colleague Bill Lindsay said it best. You haven't lost the game in regulation, and yet you basically got another point in the very next game. Okay, you win tonight because you know that you're playing basically a 2 game series, mostly every single time with every single team. So if you get 3 points out of 4, whether that's home or road, that's still good, right? I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say, it sucks to lose last night. Yeah, of course it sucks because you have the lead with under 5 to go, and then obviously, the Preds just took control in that third period. I mean, the first 5 minutes of the third, the entire puck was in the Panther zone, right?
Yeah.
And then the Preds had basically no momentum, no energy. They go and do a goalie change, and all of a sudden, Matt Duchene, who hasn't scored a goal basically all year long, all of a sudden scores his first two last night. So it's just those things that happens in a game per se, in a game of this magnitude, and it's I don't I'm not worried, but again, I feel like maybe it was necessary for this team to go back to the drawing board on certain things, and for Coach Q to go back um, you know, at the practice scenes, right, and kind of reiterate the importance of not playing lazy hockey, of lazy turnovers in crucial moments, especially towards the end of the game. I saw no pressure on the Pred side for the last 10 minutes at all. I mean, I think Pecorine, he entered the game in the third period to try to create a change, and he probably made 4 or 5 stops, but they weren't really, big time scoring chances. So it's just one of those things that where I think like Coach Q went back to the drawing board, which might have been good for the team, and they could look at this, learn from it, study it, and obviously in the crucial game next moment in the future, it won't happen again.
Obviously, Saros didn't have the greatest of games. Panthers were up 5-3. When Pecorine came in, even if the goalie situation is kind of like up in the air, a lot of times in hockey, the team kind of picks up their game when the backup comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And it was two individual performances for Nashville. Philip Forsberg, 2 goals, 3 assists,
Yeah.
5-point night. Matt Duchene, 2 goals. And Philip Forsberg's overtime winner capped off a 5-point night. It highlighted Nashville's game, but on Florida's side, you have Jonathan Huberdeau getting his first career NHL hat
Mm-hmm.
trick on top of a 5-point
Mm-hmm.
night. You got Alexander Barkov and Aaron Ekblad both getting on the score sheet. The big boys showed up for Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, a couple collapses at the end of the game proved um, bad for Florida. And they still got points in every single game they played this season. 7 games. They got points in every single one of them. And the best part about this is 1 day turnaround. You're heading back against Nashville, and you can just take it away. Get one more win, and then you head on to Detroit.
Yeah, Alex. I mean, again, your 5 wins, 0 losses, and 2 losses in the in the overtime session. I mean, I don't know what more of a better start you'd want from a club, but it certainly is one of the best starts that I can remember. And again, a loss last night, you can learn from it, especially with this, with this coaching stuff, especially heading into tonight's game where now right? Oh, in retro sense, both team knows, right? Because both teams could not stop each other's superstars. They
Yeah.
couldn't, right? So then now you have them on tape, you practice it, you played them last night. It's going to be interesting to see the adjustments that both coaching staffs make on how to be able to stop those guys. But again, you had a 2 goal lead in the third period. You let it slip by. Just one of those things that when you can't be committing turnovers in the third period with under 5 to go. And instead of you trying to ice the puck every single time or to just to try to dump it, why not just push it on the other end? Make Nashville work harder for it. Make the seconds go by quicker. But again, the Panthers haven't been in that situation all season long, and so again, it's not going to be the first of many, but it's definitely going to be something where they'll be able to look back at it and say, "Hey guys, remember that game against Nashville? We had a 2 goal lead." And even I knew this because we've been watching Nashville play hockey for quite some time here, Alex. They're a tough team. They might not be, the scoring juggernaut that they once were, and the team that can hurt you on the power play. Which yesterday they got 2 goals out of it. And again, silly penalties, right? Silly penalties happening here and there for the Panthers, which you would hope that, that gets cleaned up. But we know that Nashville is not going to go with, that's it. We're not just going to play anymore. They did a goalie change. They want a momentum shift, and they definitely got it. And like I said, Matthew Shane scored his first 2 goals of the season. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to stop a hockey team when all of a sudden, their momentum shift for the last 20 minutes of the period, it's also like attack, attack, attack. And you basically didn't match that. And I think tonight will be a crucial moment in the Panther camp for them to come out with a determination and eager to finish, right? Because that's what we want. We want this team to finish a 16-minute game, and then knowing that they got 2 against Detroit coming up, and then obviously the 3-game matchup against in-state rival Tampa Bay.
Yeah, so we got a couple lineup changes tonight. I believe Chris Drieger is going to make his start. And Noah Juleson, who hasn't played an NHL game since 2018, 2019, I think, the waiver pickup. Coach Hughes said he will be playing tonight. He's had some injuries, a former first-round pick of the Montreal Canadiens. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does on the back end. And then Alexei Heponiemi was sent down to the AHL, the Syracuse Crunch. Owen Tippett has been recalled from the taxi squad. With Tippett, it's been off and on this season. He hasn't got a goal, and it seems like the speed's kind of caught up to him in the NHL. He was playing in the AHL last year, and before he was walking guys in the OHL. You can tell the speed and the decision-making, he wasn't exactly there yet, but he's still a young player. He's a former first-round pick. I think he really needs to start getting into the NHL mentality, get up with the speed, or otherwise he's going back down to the taxi squad or to the AHL.
Yeah, Alex, I mean, when you look at his stats, right, he's played in 5 games. He's at -4 right now, no goals. Obviously, that's not the type of numbers that you want, but obviously it goes beyond the stats. You want to see how he does in other crucial parts during the game. And unfortunately, he has not stand out, but he's a first-round pick, right? So you got to give him the benefit of the doubt that at some point he'll get within it and he'll be able to showcase what he can do. I do agree with you, though. There's just so many opportunities that a Coach Quenville can give you. And I think tonight is a perfect opportunity that, listen, swipe out clean your negative plays that you've had before. Tonight is a new night, new beginning, new start. Go out there and just play the game that you've been loving your whole life. And I feel like sometimes young guys like this, right? Obviously he's not new. He's not getting right into the fire. He's played in the lower leagues before. He's just gonna have to step up, man. He has to figure out where he fits on this team. If not, I mean, trust me, there's plenty of guys down below that Coach Q is gonna call up and be like, hey, listen, go out there. I will give you 3 to 5 minutes. We see how you do. As long as you don't stay in the negative, okay? Because when I see that -4 in the stats, I know Coach Q, he don't care about 5-10 goals, but he cares about the overall rating. And right now, it's in the negative. So let's hope that tonight you come out and like I said, go out there. You have a new opportunity to showcase it once again. And you were picked in the first round for a reason. Go out there and just play your game. You know what I'm saying? Don't commit penalties. Don't get caught up in all-man rushes. Just go out there and be physical. Do what you do best, okay? And to me, I think that Owen Tippett, what he does best is skating up the ice, puck possession, and being able to find others. It just feels like he's trying to do a little bit too much. And when you do a little bit too much in this league, that's when the turnovers happen. That's when the missed puck possession happens, and the other team can go the other way with all-man rushes, right? So just, he just needs to get going. If not, it's gonna be hard to call him up again to give him another opportunity like tonight.
He needs to find his role. He's
playing exactly.
He's playing on the bottom 6. We got guys like Huberto Barkov who are established goal scorers and established point getters in this league. Look at Carter.
They're not moving.
They're not moving, but look at Carter Verhaeghe. He was sitting down in that stacked Tampa prospect pool for years. Finally gets a chance. I don't even know if he played in the Stanley Cup final last year. He did get the ring because he played 52 games. But he comes to Florida. He found his role. He knows exactly what to do. If Owen Tippett can find his role, it's not going to be scoring 60 goals a year like he was doing in Mississauga when he's in the OHL. But it's probably going to be a combination of getting pucks to the net, getting aggressive in the corners, whatever it is. He's a young player, and it's a shift-by-shift game in the NHL. So for Tippett, just take it shift by shift.
Yeah, I mean, and it also, I guess, for us, for the team fans, right? It will help if he does something because then he'll have an opportunity once he finds his role. But when you have the newcomers like Verhaeghe, Duclair, and Hornquist, right? They're all playing well. They're not going to get moved anytime soon. They're going to stay where they're at right now. So if anything, their confidence with Coach Q is going up. So Owen Tippett needs to figure out where he fits on this team and just play to that specific role. Okay, we understand that you're a first round pick, but right now you don't got to play like a first round pick. Right now, all you have to play is consistent hockey, and that's just like I said. Don't commit turnovers. Do what you can. When you're on the ice, don't commit stupid penalties. And if that -4 rating, it kind of showcases that he's been in bad spots because he's put himself in there, right? So you just got to be able to work that out and work out the kinks and find yourself a role on this team, because right now this team could use a guy like him that comes off the bench, okay, and it creates like another set of sparks, because we've seen what Barkov is, Huberto, and like I said, the three newcomers, okay. Ekblad is now scoring all of a sudden. That's wonderful to see. Like, I don't like when Coach Q came down here. Like, in my eyes, I'm thinking, man, I've seen Duncan Keith, I've seen Seabrook, I've seen what Coach Q can do with defensemen, and I probably said the same thing, that I want to see the same thing from Ekblad, and it's happening, right? Little by little, we see the confidence that Eric Ekblad is getting, and that's what we've always wanted to see on a consistent basis. He could do the same for Owen Tippett, but Owen Tippett needs to put himself in the position where Coach Q sees that and he trusts him along the way. There's plenty of hockey left, Alex. Plenty of hockey left. But the time is running out because, listen, the role that the team is in right now, with one game every other night, you got to be able to find your guys right now to count on later on during the season. You can't find your guys, halfway through the season and try to experiment. No. You want to be able to find these guys right now, especially in the division that you're in.
You just mentioned Ekblad. I love the way he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have been coming at him the last couple of years. Obviously, a first overall pick came out in a draft where Leon Draisaitl went third. So there is some fans like, oh, we could have taken Draisaitl. No, Ekblad was the consensus #1 pick for about a year. He got exceptional status granted into the OHL when he went to Barrie. He's looking really good. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a shout at the 2022 Olympic team for Canada. If they take 8D,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's 8D better than him from Canada that's going to make the Olympic team. And Jonathan Huberto, he's a lock-in. I mean, 152 goals in his career already, Panthers leader in franchise points. And Alexander Barkov, he just took second place all-time last night.
Over Scott Mellenby. Yeah.
Over Scott Mellenby with 158 goals, the original Panthers captain. So there's a lot of really nice players on this Panthers team. I'm excited to see what Ekblad continues to do this year, because he's only in his early 20s still, and defensemen usually take a couple more years to develop, as we've seen with guys like Nicholas Lidstrom. So the sky's the limit for Aaron Ekblad.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Right now, I'm looking at the Team Canada rosters that they have, listed. Right, you have Shea Weber, who's not getting any younger. Duncan Keith, he's not getting any younger. Chris Letang, injury issues. Drew Doughty, not getting any younger. Brett Seabrook, not getting any younger.
Yeah, four of those guys you just named, I don't see them making the Olympic team. It's going to be Aaron Ekblad, Cale Makar, guys like that, the younger guys. So that's what's going to happen. You might have maybe one or two of those guys you just mentioned from the 2014 team, give or take. But I don't know. Ekblad definitely has a really good chance if he continues to play the way he's playing now, playing solid defensively and getting goals and points in. He might be representing Canada at the Olympics.
No, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Listen, he's played in 7 games, 3 goals, 3 assists. And it's just the little things, all right? He's not being told, listen, do more than what you can do. He's not turning over the puck as consistently as a former Panther is. And Mike Matheson, oops, did I say his name? Yeah, so it's just one of those things that, we know what Aaron Ekblad can do. He just needed to have the proper coaching and the proper voice. And right now he's in a zone right now. And and it's always great when you have a guy of his position, especially when you've seen, like I said, you've seen what Coach Q can do with defensemen. All right. He creates wonders. He creates such more better balance between him and his forwards. And then Aaron Ekblad can become
make Dustin Byfuglien go to D. He was playing forward.
Yeah, you're right.
Byfuglien went back to defense. So Coach Q,
he played defenseman. He played defenseman, I think, the year they beat the Flyers in the Stanley Cup. And then he didn't want to play the position anymore. So obviously, I think he got traded to Winnipeg or something, or whatever the case was. But it's just those things that if you're going to want to win on this hockey team, you're going to have to make sacrifices. And I feel like Ekblad was like, you know what? This is Coach Quenneville. He has experience. He's been around the block. And I'm not getting, what I've done in the past up to now has not worked. Let me work on it. Let me listen and let me see what he can tell me to get better. And it's been working. I think the whole hockey club as a whole, they've taken that approach from Coach Q, whatever message it is in the locker room. And you know what? Let John and Huberto play his game, man. John and Huberto, first career hat trick last night. By the way, let me say this: I don't know what NHL.com or TSN or any other outlets were watching, right? But that goal did not belong to Hornquist, and that goal did not belong to I forgot who else they probably credited to. That goal was Huberto's goal from the moment it was
Yep.
scored. So I don't know why they took so long. Because I listen with only 5,000 fans here, there are fans with hats here. Okay, we would have loved to see hats thrown onto the ice
Yeah.
or something, and we didn't get that because they actually announced the goal in the third period for Johnny Huberto's first career hat trick. But listen, it's wow. It shows you how long he's been here. He's stuck it out, and to pass Scott Mellenby, I mean, I don't know about you, but when I was young and little and I was watching Panther hockey, Scott Mellenby was the dude. Scott Mellenby was a guy that you knew he was going to battle, you know, in that center position every single night. So for me to see that, Jonathan Huberto has to be kind of categorized up there as those guys that we watched back in the '96 season for sure.
You know, Barkov and Huberto both with 150 goals, like over 150 goals. Ole
Mm-hmm.
Jokinen's the only guy they have to pass. He has 188. By the next season, if they stay healthy, they're both going to be 1 and 2 respectively on the goal list. And Ole Jokinen's the guy that I grew up watching. I was in that Ole
Mm-hmm.
Jokinen, Stephen Weiss, David Booth era. It's looking a lot better from those.
David Booth, the memories, David Booth.
We've
Well,
come
when you
pretty
say
no playoff success, but we've come pretty far with the roster we have. Looking back 10 years ago when we were running those guys compared
yeah.
to now, it's a nice time to be a Panthers fan. I'm not gonna lie.
No, well, because I feel like management has gotten the right pieces that fit, right? And then, yes, it's been disappointing not winning playoff series in the first round. It's been disappointing when you got to count on other teams on what they do during the season in order for you to get into the playoffs. But it feels great right now to know that you are in control of what happens. You don't have to rely on anybody else. And if things need to be changed, you have the trust, right, in that locker room, and you have the trust in upper management that they're gonna make sure they do whatever it takes. Because right now, this Panther team is playing on another certain level. And yes, last night hurts. Absolutely, you give up a point, a 2-goal lead under 5 minutes to go, but it's a learning curve, right? You're gonna take that game for what it's worth. You're gonna come out tonight. You're gonna come out tonight with determination. And like I said it before, Alex, at the beginning of the show, you gotta finish. Got to be able to finish. You finish to be something great. As we see Randy Moeller right there behind me, right there. He just walked in.
You know, the Panthers have Detroit coming up, 2-game series against Detroit. And then, as
Mm-hmm.
Manny said last episode, we got our in-state rivals, 3-game series, 2 at home, 1 away. Former last year reigning Stanley Cup champion, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Obviously, we need a win tonight. I want to win tonight. I want to see the Panthers play some good hockey. I want us to keep our lead if we get a lead. But looking ahead to Tampa, that's going to be fun. Panthers fans, normally we're scared of Tampa. This team can take on Tampa. I said it yesterday. We could probably split with Tampa. I honestly believe that. This 3-game series, it's going to be fun.
For sure, for sure. All right, we're gonna just wrap it up here. Puck drop is less than an hour or so we'll see what happens then. Don't forget, Panther fans, you can listen to the game on 560 WQAM with my man Doug Plagueis and Bill Lindsay. And yeah, man, let's get this game tonight. Let's get ready for the 2 with Detroit, and then becomes the 3-game series. There you go.
Looking forward to it.
All right, hi guys.